In early November, we had the opportunity to go to the side-by-side adventure rally being held on our home turf at the Sand Hollow State Park in southern Utah. The event overall was a blast with multiple vendors there demoing their products, including Yamaha and Can-am. This gave us the opportunity to demo both the Yamaha YXZ 1000R SS and the Can-am Maverick X3 side-by-side. Later on that night, we set up some chairs in the garage and gave our impressions of the machines we drove. Based on our experience that day, the Yamaha is better than the Can-am. Kind of.
Does this mean we gotta get off our phones?
I feel like
action.
I feel like we should.
You missing something, bro?
I should have a phone here.
You missing something?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sure we'll make it use of it.
So, what do you guys do? What do you guys think of the rides today? So, we demoed, what, 2 machines?
Yeah.
YXZ and Can-am X3s.
Yeah, so the YXZ was 1000 RSS or SSR?
It's the RSS.
SS.
Yeah.
RSS, it was slick. So we demoed both machines today, but the one that blows my mind or sticks out in my mind or the one that I'm excited the most about.
So we're gonna talk about that first then?
Free YXZ,
All right.
dude. It was legit.
Don't wear my blue, dude. Don't wear my blue.
Yamaha.
It was legit, dude. It was legit. So, dude,
Well, before we get into that, let's talk about that a little bit. Like,
yeah.
you two haven't been on board with the Yamahas. I mean, we gotta say. I mean, you guys thought they were completely ugly, right?
I couldn't handle the way they looked.
Yeah. So basically, Dave said that he would have to drive it the whole entire time if we ever got one, so he wouldn't have to look at it all day. So you guys remember that?
Dude, and I'm gonna be straight up honest too. Like they told us that they changed the look between the 2018 and 2019 that we saw today. Looked like the same thing.
I don't know where they changed the look.
The only difference is in the back, there's a little box for the radiator where they relocated.
And wasn't it like something on the cage he was saying because people were hitting their heads getting in and out, so maybe they got that a little
bit? The 2019, the cage comes more of a upward angle instead of a slope back.
Well, either way, dude, so we drove the Can-Ams, the X3s, and we'll talk about both. We drove the YXZ. The YXZ blew my mind, like I said. I don't know, first ride, like I felt like I was driving a little race car.
Yeah.
You know, super tight in the corners, did everything you wanted it to do, all the power you needed.
Yeah.
Shifting, dude, that was a blast.
Yeah, I like the paddle shifters. It just makes it a lot of fun to drive in the dunes.
Felt like the steering wheel was like thicker too, just like from stock. So it had something to grab onto, but it was just like real tight. So when you were like turning, you had the radius there. It's just like as soon as you started turning, it just went with it. It was just solid, it seemed from like the steering wheel area all the way down. But the paddle shifters, I think, like, because Dave and I on the way out there Thursday morning were talking about that. It's like, would we want to shift out in the sand dunes or in the mountains, or we wouldn't want to worry about shifting? You know, I've always kind of liked having something in control, but I don't know. For us, like, we're definitely sold on. I'm sold on the shifters for the sand. I don't know about the mountains yet. If I don't want to worry about that, but
and they say it's better. They say it's better in the mountains too. But
better than what it was probably. But I've never driven one of the older models, so I can't.
Yeah. So I saw something today. I did a little bit of watched a few reviews and some specs on it, and they said that they lowered the gear ratio on the new 19s as well, just to help. Because they came with bigger tires than I guess the 18s and down, so they lowered the gear ratio to help kind of compensate for those tires, and then they're also made so you can throw 30s right on. And
that first gear, that is
first gear reverse.
That is one of those.
They're snappy. Watching some of those guys, they seemed like they'd never driven side by side. Try and turn around and back up.
Yeah.
Bucking all over the place.
It made me nervous driving, and it made me nervous seeing people drive.
Made me nervous for
when
the
they
Yamaha
were
guys.
when they were parking, there's all the people walking by, and as soon as you touch the throttle,
So it's like when we went on ours, who was it? Just us two and the demo guys?
I think there was one
Was
other
there a
person
third guy?
behind us,
We just had we had a really good group. So it's like when we went out, the demo guy was moving, and then as soon as he saw us right behind him, it seemed like we just started
I
moving
think we were
around.
going faster today than yesterday.
Were you? So you was going.
And he even said, come tomorrow because this was nothing. We had a killer ride earlier that was fast.
He told us to come in the morning.
He said, we'll go as fast as you guys can go.
Oh,
if you're
so-
keeping up,
so when are we gonna do it?
First thing in the morning.
First thing
We
we
need
get
to
there.
be.
Okay.
We
We're
all
doing
need
it
to be
again.
in our
We're
own
gonna-
machine.
Yeah, we need to rock and roll.
And yeah, it was,
I mean,
So-
for me, it was like I'm gonna stay off the guy because I didn't want to But if that's the goal, then let's do it. Like we need to get out there. 'Cause
So
those
we
are
had
awesome.
big difference between the two rides, right? We did the safety thing with both of them, right? The safety tab with both of them.
Yeah.
And then the guys at Can-am, before we left, they're like, hey, you get sideways, that's a no-no, you're done.
Yeah,
immediately.
no.
You get the
Sit
back seat,
somewhere
you're a
else.
passenger. Yeah.
If you're throwing roosters, no, you're done.
If you slow up too much and then try to catch a front guy, you're done. You know. And, you're
And then the Yamaha guys were like, let's freaking rail, man, let's do this.
Yeah.
And so,
We're doing freaking bowls on the sand.
yeah, and
sand
he took us up on the edge of the bowls or whatever, so you're throwing roosters or whatever,
Yeah.
and then, dude, he was hitting some of the jumps or whatever, the steep stuff, like.
He caught some air.
I mean, for me, if you're gonna go out on a demo and you're looking at dropping, 18, 20 to 30 grand on something, then your demo might, it needs to be worth something to talk about. You need to be able to go out and actually test the machines.
At the same, so I was thinking about this a few minutes ago. At the same time, Can-Am's not having problems selling machines,
No,
right?
no.
So what motivation do they have to go beat their stuff? Yamaha is trying to get some traction in the market, and so they're encouraging to do it or whatever. But either way, our guide Scott or whatever his name was, I think it was Scott. The dude railed. He was going fast. 5 times we stopped, and I was keeping up with him, but the whole rest of the group wasn't keeping up with us. So 5 times he stopped. He's like, "Let's go, let's freaking hit it!"
Yeah.
So then when we got back, give you the knuckles.
Fist bump.
Yeah, we got a fist bump Thursday as well.
Yeah.
We stayed, Dave and I stayed, but we didn't have much. It seemed that everybody stayed up on our group pretty well.
So
It was
what do you
fun.
think about how it rode? Like through the bumps, through the whoops, all that kind of rough stuff.
It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
It was a pretty comfortable ride. It was nice and tight.
Yeah.
It wasn't real jarring, really. I didn't think. Some of that little short, choppy stuff, little boulders, that kind of stuff. In some machines, they just beat the crap out of you.
So I didn't get to ride the 2-seater Can-Ams like you guys did. I rode only the Yamaha today, and then I did the 4-seater Can-Am, and it was a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So 2-seater Can-Am, 2-seater Yamaha.
Yamaha all day long.
Yeah, Yamaha all day long. But I do have to say one thing. We went on quite a different type of trail ride in the Can-Am, where we had a lot of the whoops and a lot of the stuff where we're more in the sands with the Yamaha.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and say exactly what the Yamaha would feel like but the way the Yamaha, it didn't sound like a bucket of bolts, dude. Even the X3 I was in was so loud, just rattly.
I don't
on
know.
top of the
If it's
movement.
just their demo machine, they all had well over 1,000 miles on them. They've been ridden hard, put up wet. They sounded like suspension just clanking around.
Yeah.
And things popping that shouldn't be popping. I don't know if it's the sway bars moving around or what.
I don't know. Mine had plenty of power. It ran great. It had tons of power,
Power
gobs
is
of power.
insane.
I feel like we're gonna get railed for beating on Can-Am.
I'm not. I own a
honestly-
Can-Am.
Yeah.
I own a Can-Am.
That's true. That's true.
I'm a fanboy. I like it. But I was expecting the X3 to be more than what it was.
Yeah.
And
I think, dude, I think that's 100% on the demo crew.
I think so.
think that's on Can-Am demo crew for not having their stuff set up as buttery smooth as it could be.
Yeah,
and as
understocked,
maintained as it could
understocked situation. We're not asking Can-Am to sit here and throw on all these parts just to make sure we get a good ride.
Yeah.
But
at least
let's
tune
lower
your
the air
stuff.
pressure down from 20 psi because that's where it was.
Yeah.
Those tires were rock hard and they
Yeah.
gave a terrible ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my issue. If I was jumping in one, I'd be like, dude, this is awesome power. But if this is what it feels like at $30,000, that's our issue.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it might not be the case.
Yeah.
So then get your demo rides to ride better.
That's it.
know?
Like I said, I don't think it's a Can-Am problem.
I don't think
think
so.
it's
I
the
think it's
demo
the demo
crew that
crew.
brought the machines
No.
didn't get them set up properly.
No, I mean, you're talking to 3 guys and then we're missing a buddy tonight. We all agree Can-Ams are sick looking. We love the colors. We love the styles.
Power's
we
insane.
love the power. We love everything about them.
And they wouldn't be selling the way they do if they weren't legit.
Yeah.
So.
But my deal is I hope that's the reason, because if I'm gonna spend 30 grand on your machine, and then I gotta put another like 3 to 5 minutes suspension work just to get it to like so I can ride in it all day, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yep. So you mentioned power. Like I rode in the 4-seater. Power was awesome. I didn't have any issue with power in the 4-seater X3, and it was a Turbo S. Was a Turbo what? DS or something like that. It was a turbo either way. And it was a nice machine. It was a blast to drive.
Now, was yours running the 172 horsepower?
Yeah, that's what they are.
I think so, yeah. But it was a blast.
And they do give you the performance key. They let you have all the horsepower.
Yeah. And then the different modes too, you can tell the difference between the two for sure.
Yeah, between the eco mode.
Yeah, I had it in sport as much as I could because I didn't want to eco anything. I didn't go.
Yeah, and I think when we ran ours, mine was in sport the whole entire time.
Yeah, but either way, I would say both machines had all the power I could ask for especially what we were doing.
Yeah.
More horsepower is always better.
And dealing with that power, what's interesting to me too is, I mean, Yamaha's saying their setup is going to hold up for a long time.
Yeah.
You got, you're not dealing with belts and stuff. So it's interesting. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see exactly what kind of wear and tear, and how they hold up.
So I know Yamaha's had some problems with their gearing, that kind of stuff, but not clutches.
The thing I liked about the power at Yamaha though is that shaft drive or whatever.
Bam! It's right there.
Yeah,
it's right there.
As soon as you hit it, especially if you're in the right RPM range, I mean, you hit it and you're gone.
You know, the other thing too is when you're getting that power, the tune of the motor doesn't really like bother you with the loudness. It's like the tune of it alone, it's like you can handle listening to that.
Dude, that's the thing.
Because like it sounded good.
To me, I mean, I'm a motor guy. It was a symphony behind it, dude. I mean, I love the sound of going.
I did too, and I felt like it wasn't like an annoying loud sound. It was like a nice sound that you can like really put up.
It's kind of like riding a Banshee.
Yeah,
sitting in a Banshee, you're always in a high RPM to stay in that power range. Above 6,000 RPM is where you got to be in that YXZ.
Yeah.
That's where all the power is, because you even notice when you're running in first and you try to hit second, if you don't have the RPMs up, you don't have the power.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like you have to learn that riding style to run a Yamaha, especially out in like the sand dunes and stuff, to know where to keep it. But once you get that down and you get used to it, it's great.
No. So what about value? So that machine, I mean, what's the Yamaha? I don't even know, to be honest.
They started at 21.
Yeah, I was looking at the Yamaha today. I think it was like 20. The new one's like what we were driving.
Low 20s.
Yeah, low 20s or something.
Low 20s for the sport ship mode one, the one we drove today.
Yeah.
And then what's a 2-seater, similar 2-seater Can-Am?
They're probably starting at 26, 27, 28, depending on what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking at like, let's just safe to say about $5 grand difference.
Yeah.
So is it worth the $5 grand?
$3 to $5 grand difference? Is it? I mean,
easy $5 grand.
What does the Can-Am do that makes it worth that extra $3 to $5 grand?
It's hard to say. I mean,
based on our demo experience, I would say not much, but I mean, obviously.
Well, here's the deal: if Yamaha's going to hold up, and you're not dealing with belts and all this kind of stuff, and you're spending less money.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. So
when did the YXZ come out?
15, 16, somewhere around there?
No, I think, I'd like to say that there might even been some 13s.
They're that old.
So the YXZ's been out for a few years. Why do you think it's, because you don't see a ton of them, you see some of them out there. Why do you think it hasn't caught on?
They were late to the market for side-by-sides.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to.
Because, dude, I mean, the reason I ask is because I've never had a funner experience than I had behind the wheel of the Yamaha.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that was a blast. My face hurt from smiling. I was literally like a kid in a candy store, ripping through the gears.
It's definitely fun. I'd need to ride one in the mountain trails, that kind of stuff, to see what the differences there are, because you're always having to ride at 6,000 RPMs, which means you're going faster all the time.
Yeah.
So
if you could pick one of the machines and money was not an issue, either Can-Am was going to say, this is for you for free, or Yamaha was going to say this is for you for free, which one would you choose?
I think I'd go with the Can-am.
You think so?
Longer travel suspension.
Yeah.
Just more horsepower.
Yeah. And that's the thing. See,
I don't know.
that's the crazy part, because if it was a free situation for me, I'll put the $5,000 in your Can-Am so it can ride better. So yeah, I'll take the
If it's
Can-Am.
free, I can afford to put $5,000 in parts.
Exactly. To me, it's like you're spending that kind of money, you should be able to get a few years out of just using it, you know, if you want. I mean, that's a lot of money you're putting into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably still. I think I'm with Dave. It's the what you're getting for the turbo. Well, then again, let me back up. There's a turbo kit for the Yamaha, and it was sitting on the one at the demo ride area, the white. So let's ride that one. I would have to say let's drive that one first, and then I would have. Then I can say which one.
And we were asking everybody at Yamaha. We could ask, is there going to be a turbo coming out from stock? And nobody would say no.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't say yes.
Yeah.
I bet you within the next model year, 2020, there's going to be a turbo option.
Yeah.
I bet.
I think I was looking that up real quick. I think you're right. It looked like about 2016.
Yeah.
It seems like they've been out longer than that for the Yamahas, haven't they?
So just like 3 model years now. It doesn't seem like to me. It seems like they're relatively new, but no. I mean, there was a lady there from marketing that was pretty high up.
She runs the whole demo thing.
She runs demos for
Yeah.
And we asked her about a 4-seater. She was tight-lipped about a 4-seater and kind of anything else. Yeah, our product team is.
We're always looking into
always
everything.
tossing around ideas. I'm sure it was the corporate speak or whatever, but I don't know. I haven't driven a 2-seater. I mean, as much fun as I had in that 2-seat machine, I couldn't go a different way.
It was fun. It's just a completely different experience shifting. It's like Mario Kart in kindergarten.
It is. It reminds me of I did kart racing, the electric kart racing or whatever, like K1 speed or whatever. And I mean, that kind of responsiveness, that kind of tight through the corners, everything else. With that said, it was nice when you put that pedal down and spun a roost out and whatnot. Yeah, it was legit.
I think you spend like a few days driving that around, and you'll get used to the shifter paddles and all that stuff, and where to keep the RPM by listening just to the motor.
Yeah.
And then you can really like do some stuff with it, because a couple times, I kind of like missed it. You're not quite clear up there where you need to be when you go into second or even like third.
Yeah.
Just because you just have to pay attention to that a little bit. Other than that, though.
Yeah, there's a learning curve. It's a different thing altogether than just having a clutch and a belt and everything else.
To me, it too is like I don't know, the size of the machine itself was just like really easy to maneuver. It was just like it just felt like it went wherever you wanted.
The Can-Am's still a lot wider. They are a little wider.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we mentioned. Can-Am's when you're sitting in them, it's great to be sitting down, and I like the feel with the gravity and everything, and not feeling like you have so much roll.
Yeah.
But and people can correct us if we're wrong, but I can't see out the front that well. So when I go to like climb the rocks, I can't see.
The field of vision in the Can-Am is restricted. For sure.
So you're just hoping whatever you go over, you're fine.
Yeah.
So, but you can't.
It
really
was.
see
I mean, I didn't really notice I'm 6'4", so I'm taller or whatever. I'm sitting higher up than most people, so I didn't really notice it. I did feel more wide open on the YXZ than I did in the Can-Am, but it wasn't, to me, when I was in the Can-Am, I wasn't thinking about vision. Maybe it was just because I was thinking about power, and I was also remembering the freaking Kardashian booty I have behind me while I'm going around corners.
4-seater X3 Max.
Yeah, we're in the 4-seater, and dude, I'm telling, I mean, you're driving freaking bus.
Take the turns wide. You got a back end back there.
So, it's not bad. It was a fun experience. So, like I said,
do it again tomorrow.
We'll definitely do it again tomorrow. But if money wasn't an issue, if Yamaha or Can-Am, if I could only choose one and they were both going to be free today, if you ask me, I'm choosing the Yamaha.
There you go.
So you're choosing Can-Am?
Well, I had to backtrack a little bit just because of the turbo edition of the Yamaha that had sitting there. Yeah. If I drove that, because that one's about 28 or something, I think I was looking. It's pretty pricey. If I drove that, I might say hands down the Yamaha. I don't know.
You can't really compare it apples to apples.
Yeah,
it's
just
like
because the turbo thing,
It really is.
The turbo thing's a big deal, but then again, the Yamaha, what we drove, already has plenty of power.
It did.
So I don't know.
I'd love to get the Yamaha though up in the mountains and mountain trails and do trails instead of dunes and see how it behaved.
And I'd like to demo the freaking Can-Am in the dunes, but they won't take you out in the dunes. They take you on a freaking dirt road.
So that's another thing. It's like, you know, we love the X3s, we really do, but if we can't do what we want to do to test them out, like
we're at the sand dunes. The rally is at the sand dunes, and they're not letting you drive the X3s in the sand dunes.
Super limited dunage.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're like, because I remember the one guy's like, if you go up on a hill and kind of kick it around, we're going to stop.
You're going to stop it in the back. You're done.
And I'm like, well, let's see here. Since I'm looking at dropping $30K into your machine to ride in the sand dunes, I want to kind of see what it will do in the sand dunes.
Yeah, maybe let me dink around a little bit, you know? So,
I
don't know, I think the moral of the whole story is Yamaha did a heck of a lot better job demoing their machines.
They did.
Than Can-Am did.
And I have to say that the Yamaha guys were a lot more down to earth. Like talking to them, they
would sit there and shoot the breeze with you. Those Can-Am guys didn't really want to talk to you at all.
No, I just felt like they weren't very personal. And that's the thing. It's like Can-Am, if you guys are going to look at demoing your machines and get the right people behind them to run it.
Freaking Canadians.
So
those are the nicest people. These guys are probably Americans.
Yeah.
They were injured.
I'm sure.
I don't know. It just they weren't very friendly. So it was like the Yamaha guys are like, "What's up? You want to go for a ride? Let's roll."
Yeah.
You know, and like we're willing to talk to you about the stuff, take the time to talk to you. Where the other guys are like, "Oh, great, I got to take these other guys out for another demo or something."
Yeah.
So
they kind of just feel like they're wore out of doing demos.
Yeah, which is understandable.
They need a break.
Find a new job if you don't want to do it.
On vacation.
Absolutely. So anyway, that was it, dude. So let's go out and rip it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna be down in Sand Hollow again at the rally. We're gonna hopefully jump in the Yamaha again. I would like to do that one more time.
I think we need to.
First thing, and see what happens there and rip it up.
Yeah.
And then we'll take out our machine later that day.
Yeah.
After we get done with our ride, we got our other machine ready for the trail, and then we got a 4-wheeler back here too that we just got up and running, Dustin's, and take that out and rip it around.
Sounds like a party.
Hopefully we'll have good weather.
Should be nice.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a little chilly in the morning, but warmed up nicely.
Cool. So this is like our first roundtable style discussion, or whatever you want to call it. Our first BS session after a rally or ride or whatever. I think we need to do these regularly.
And we hope, like, when we get this, like, when you guys see this on YouTube, we really want comments. Give us your feedback. Tell us if we're right. Tell us if we're wrong. If you own an X3 or something, let us know what you think. Like, tell us. Like,
if your experience was different than ours.
If you have one, you're like, no, they just aren't set up right.
We're definitely open-minded.
I mean, we're not closed-doored on it. It's just, we need to know, like, it was just, that's the first impression, because we've never driven one before.
Yeah.
And that was the first impression we got, and that's not good on people like us. Like, we want a good impression.
Yeah, especially me. So I'm in the market.
Yeah, especially Joe.
In the next few months, keep telling these guys, next few months, shut the freak out. I'm in the market, and so I'm out there looking for a machine, and that's the first.
So he basically goes to the same dealership, drills over the machine, sends us pictures from Arizona, and then walks out and doesn't buy anything.
Shout out to Right Now, Chandler. Shout out.
It's all good.
No, I do. I bother the salespeople there or whatever, but they have sick machines, man. I'm trying to get a feel for it before I pull the trigger. I want to get the right one.
And you've been looking at the X3s. You looked at them all.
I'm looking at all of them. I drove them. So anyway, that's it for this one. See you next time.
Like it, subscribe.
Yeah, that stuff. Like, subscribe, comment. Your mom.
Your mom.
Thanks for sticking around through our discussion. Both the Yamaha YXZ 1000R SS and the Can-am Maverick X3 are tremendous machines. Which one would you choose and why? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more off-road content. Until then, we'll be off-road or in the garage.